Okay, so we're gonna get into scheduling information, and of course, we'll talk a little. First, go over the terminologies that we want to cover here in this, just so you know what everything means in here. Thanks to Paul, he posted this on Maverick Truck Club and let people know that here's some of what these things mean. So, of course, we're talking about this scheduling information. It is when you place an order with a dealer and getting that scheduled for production date so it can get produced and then get shipped to the dealer and then you could buy the vehicle. So this is a kind of a process here. Those orders are placed in the order bank. That is where those stock and retail orders are placed, as well as fleet orders too. And then a retail order is a customer placed order. That would be one for you if you're wanting to place an order. A stock order is where a dealer places it for a stock or lot inventory. So if they don't have enough retail orders, they have allocations, they need to put stock orders in there. In fact, if they don't, Ford will. They did that to us on Maverick this weekend. They put in a bunch of stock orders for us. I don't know why, because we had plenty of retail orders for our allocations this month, but evidently didn't like those orders because they placed some other orders. So that happens as well. A priority code, that's a priority that's given by the dealer for the orders. Retail orders can be given anyway, anything from an 03 to a 19, where a stock 20 to 80. The lower, the better. So, like when you think about it, it's like golf, I always say, but also number one order, number two order, number three order. You look at it that way as well, and going back. So retails are always looked at before a stock for scheduling. Um, and then scheduling, that is when Ford schedules an order for production dates in the future months. When we talk about that they're scheduling this week, those are for production dates that usually are 2 months in advance or 2 months later, right? Because they have to do it in advance. And then production dates, they'll schedule it to the week or to the week, and then as it gets closer, they'll schedule it to the day. And sometimes that can move. We've seen that with some of our orders. Allocations, Ford gives dealers allocations to schedule their orders. A dealer needs an allocation to schedule an order in the order bank. Retail in stock, doesn't matter. A dealer earns those allocations from their sales of each model within the region. So every model will be a different number. We get more allocations for F-150s than we do Maverick, more Mavericks than we do for Expeditions, and so on and so forth. It depends on how well you sell a certain model on how many allocations the dealer is going to get. Just because there's retail orders in there doesn't mean that Ford will give you allocations to cover all those. They won't do that. It's 100% based on your sales volume. Constraints, those are options that may be in short supply or take longer to build. We'll talk about that. Some items are limited availability or exhausted availability. We'll discuss that. And then capacity, that is the planned production rate of a given motor trimmer option. Like for the Maverick, 50%, 55% of their production is hybrid. That's just the way that's going to run. And so, dealers need to put those in accordingly. Job 1 and 2, that's production is run within 2 model years, or within a model year, can be split into 2 different jobs. Job 1 will be the launch, the start up, you should say. Job 2 will be those late availability items, the ones that they're not ready for at the beginning of job 1, but they need to start production because they have to start producing these vehicles before the changeover of the calendar year. Balance out, that's the end of production or the balance out of a particular model option, something like that. We'll talk about balance out dates this week as well. So hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions about that, drop them down in the comments, or if you're watching the recorded version of this on Wednesday, then put them down in the drop them down on the video there. We'll answer those. All right, let's start off talking about, in fact, we're going to talk about, I got my information on order banks and everything as well for 23 or 24 and 25 for all these. They'll have, because there are some changes on a couple models. 25 model year Mustang. Don't know exactly the number of unscheduled retail orders. It actually listed in the list that I saw for 24. So I don't know if that's including 25s, but it's around about 1,000 in there. So I'm assuming that's 25 model year. The order banks are open up for the 25 model year. For the Mustang, closed for 24 model year. They're done. They're balanced out, as we would say, for the 24 model year. They're waiting for 25 to start. Now, they did tell us that they've extended what they call the dressing period for the orders for the Mustang, Bronco Sport, and Maverick. So Those are 3 startup supposed to happen this week for all of those. They're not going to happen this week. They're continuing it. Even though the scheduling notes in here says that, there's a note in Webdo that says that all 3 of those models are not going to schedule this week. Anyway, it does say in here that the Dark Horse handling package won't be available until April of 2025. So if you're wanting to get a Dark Horse, dealer has an allocation, they'll want to fulfill that allocation with a non-handling package Dark Horse. Mustang Night Pony package with the black painted roof is only available for retail scheduling and is currently not eligible for stock dressing. Dressing means you can't put it on the order. Exhaust availability for the Night Pony package for that reason, but there you go. All right, and then on the Mustang, yeah, you guys already know the order bank, the balance out for 24 model year. By the way, the last day they're going to build a 24 model year is November 1st. Now those dates can change because that actually is a change. It was supposed to be end of October and they just pushed it back. So they're going to continue to make them until November 1st. So that could change. We have another month yet. Again, these kind of have to flow with each other. In fact, Ford gets mad if I actually put dates out there, but right around November 1st. And again, that could move, just so you're aware of that. All right. And then let's see, anything else on that? Yeah. So scheduling was supposed to start this week. It's not. Job 1 is supposed to be November 4th. So that's pretty typical to close down and open the next one up a day or 2 later. 25 model year Escape. Order banks are open up for the 25 model year for retail and stock ordering. There's currently 107 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. They are scheduled this week. It looks like the weeks of November 4th through the weeks of November 25th. So the month of November there. And so this is main commitment. So it can be stock or retail orders. So last week, I think, was retail only. This week would be stock or retails. It does have an update in here. Tech package is now available on stock orders for the active plug-in hybrid and the ST line select. So now you can put that. That wasn't available until this week. So we can put those on orders. And on the Escape, of course, we know order banks are open. We know production is open. Scheduling is open. They started, I think, job 1 for Escape is tomorrow. Tomorrow is the first day a 25 model year Escape will be built. That's pretty cool. All right, next up, 25 model year Bronco Sport. There currently is 172 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. The order banks are open up for the Bronco Sport, so you can place those. Not a lot of orders in there, so probably shouldn't be a long wait for any of those. Again, as I mentioned earlier, they're not scheduling this week. Couple notes in here. Sasquatch Outer Banks package will be available quarter 1, as well as the Sasquatch Badlands package will be quarter 1. And it does say in here, we will be taking retail orders for Sasquatch package, but they will not schedule until job 2. So you can now, and it actually says job 2 is going to be February. So that's February production dates. They'll schedule 2 months in advance. So probably around the month of December is when they're going to start scheduling for those job 2 productions. For February. So if you're waiting for one of those, so now you can place your orders. A lot there for a while, you couldn't actually add the Sasquatch and save the order, or submit the order. You can only save it. Now you can submit it. I've tried it out. I've actually worked with the brand manager to make sure this is working in our system, and it is. I actually have an order in my name that will cancel probably just to test the system out. So there you go. That's it. And then 25 model year Bronco Sports are supposed to be, job 1 supposed to be November 11th for those. And schedule was supposed to be last week, but again, it's being pushed back a little bit. They had some issues with the orders. So they had to do some things with the orders this weekend. So they're giving dealers a week to make sure all those orders look right in the system. So, all right, next up, 24 model year Bronco. There's currently 637 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. The order banks are open up. That's something that some people thought they were closed on Bronco 6G forum. They are still open. There's a couple trim levels that aren't open, and that's the Everglades. You can't order an Everglades. You can't order a Heritage Limited Edition. Of course, that's only dealers that have allocations can get those anyway. You can order a Heritage 2-door, but not a Heritage 4-door. And then everything else should be open for you if you want to place an order for a 24 model year. So there we go. There's that. No, let's see. One of those, I don't think that we have a closing of the order bank yet. Balance out for the Bronco is supposed to be December 22nd. So the last day to build one. Now, again, that's flowing. It could change, but for right now, it's tentative for right before Christmas for them to stop producing a 24, and a 25 probably won't be built until January 2nd, it says in here. And supposedly order banks are going to open up mid-October. So probably around the 15th or so. And then the order banks are supposed to close at the end of October for the 24 Broncos. So there will be some overlap there. So one will open, the other one closes after that. So that way, if you see 25 information and go, I don't like that, then you'll have a chance to order a 24. Same thing's kind of almost happening for Expedition, right? No, actually it closes before Expedition opens. Well, that's kind of a bummer. Anyway, might have to place a 24, and we'll get into that. Anyway, moving on. Let's see, 20 on the Bronco. They are scheduled this week. Last week was specialty only. This week is the main commitment for other models, other trim levels, I should say, for the weeks in November. Build dates says required orders. They are needing some Raptor orders for dealers that have some Raptor allocations. And then also they need two-door orders. So if you're out there with a two-door, that shouldn't take long to get scheduled. They need Black Diamond, Big Bend, and Badlands two-door orders, it says in there. So for like dealers, they're going to be looking for dealers to have some two-door orders in there to schedule. But anyway, and they might even pump in some of those orders for dealers if they have to. So seen that happen before. All right, next up, 24 model year Mach-E. Currently 20 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. The order bank is open up right now for that. They are going to be scheduled this week for November build dates. Limited availability for the Mach-E Premium, rear wheel and all-wheel drive, and also limited availability for the extended range. So it looks like they need some standard range orders there. And let's see, what do we have for Mach-E? It looks like there is an update on that. So it looks like balance out for 24 model year is December 20th. And it looks like that order bank is supposed to open up for 25 model year the middle of October. Again, that's going to be a busy day. That's Bronco, Ranger. We'll get into Ranger and Transit. So anyway, E-Transit, that is. All right, so that's information on that. Also, let's see. Job 1 is going to be January 6th for the 25 model year Mach-E. So, all right. And see, next up is the 25 model year Explorer. Order banks are open up, have been since March. Currently 252 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. They are scheduling this week for production dates in the beginning of November, week of November 4th through the week of November 18th. And this is Job 1 balance out. So when we talk about Job 1 and Job 2, they are about ready to move over to Job 2. So this will be, they're balancing out Job 1 retail orders. I haven't seen a Job 2 order guide yet. We'll maybe look and see if there's one for next week. Here's some of the things that are, here's some things that are balancing out for Job 1 that won't be available for Job 2, it looks like. And that is the ST line premium package and the platinum version. It says submit retail order as Job 2 after 9:30. So on that, so platinum will be available, but there's gonna be a change to it. It looks like, and Iconic Silver could balance out. And may not be available for Job 2. So we'll have to get you the details on that. Limited availability for the 2.3 liter EcoBoost as well as the 3.0. I don't know what other motor it leaves you because I think those are the only two, but there you have it. Also, the ST line version, the platinum version, also limited. The ultimate package, that's part of the platinum edition, and the 21-inch dark alloy polished wheel, that's the 64Z wheel. Also limited availability. Now, limited isn't as bad as exhausted. So here's your exhausted availability items, and that is the active trim. That is also the 21-inch magnetite painted aluminum wheel. I think that's the one that's on the ST line street package, if I remember right. And then also the black painted roof. That was an option for this year. So those are exhausted availability. So if you have an ST line, you're better than having an exhausted availability like an active. So, all right. And then on the Explorer, of course, order banks are open up, for 24, has been for a while. And so there's no worry about that. 24 model year Expedition. Currently 397 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. The order banks are closing tomorrow. So the last day to put in an Expedition order is tomorrow. So Remind me, Sarah. We need to make sure we do that. So we're gonna last day to do that. They are scheduling this week for production dates November 4th through 12/4. This is balance out. Main November balance out commitment is this week. So we got to get those orders in. Final day to submit a new retail order for 24 model year is tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern. And then also spec changes will be turned off on Friday, September 20th. So that means that you can make any changes as of the 20th. Orders are locked in. You can't make any changes. So on the Expedition. So details on Expedition or no order bank closes tomorrow. The last day they're going to build a 24 model year is 12/4. So December 4th. 25 model year order banks are supposed to open up October 24th. And then job one will start January 6th. So there'll be a big gap there, almost a month of retooling and such for the plant. Of course, 2 weeks they'll be off for vacation and such, but there you go. All right, there's that information. 25 model year Maverick, currently 6,551 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. They've added 500 orders just in 1 week. Order banks are open up for the 25 model year. They're closed for the 24 model year. They are not scheduled this week. Again, they're letting those orders dressing and everything. Lobo version is available to order now, but not available to schedule. And they won't start producing those until Q1. It says at 25. I think November is when those will start scheduling. So you got a couple months for that. That's all the news I have for that. So Maverick, job one doesn't move. Just because they're moving the scheduling back doesn't mean job one will move. November 11th is when job one starts. And then the last day they're going to build a Maverick is going to be 24 Maverick, I should say, is November 2nd. So they'll have a week to retool for the new look there. All right, next up, 24 model year Super Duty. Or wait, Ranger's next. Sorry, 24 model year Ranger. Super Duty people, you got to wait just a little bit. There's currently 595 unscheduled retail orders in order bank for the Ranger. The order banks are closed for retail ordering of the 24, open for stock. So if you're wanting to put one in, you can have the dealer put in a stock one and see how it goes. Limited availability for the 2.7 liter engine. Oh, they are scheduled this week for production dates in November, weeks of November 4th through the week of the 25th. So no other information there. Ranger looks like the last day they're going to make a 24 Ranger is going to be the 22nd of December. And it looks like the 25 model year order banks are going to be 10/15, October 15th as well. And job one will be January 2nd for job one. So you can see they will really build a 25 in 25 calendar years. So, all right, now 24 model year Super Duty. Currently 10,970 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. That really came down from last week. Order banks are still open up for the 24 model year. And it says in here, opening next week for the 25 model year. So order banks are going to open up 9/24, it says. So there you go. And so, yeah, they are. Let's see. Let me go through this here for you. So the last day they're going to build, Kentucky Truck Plant will build a 24 model year. Super Duty will be December 1st or so. That could move and that could fluctuate, just so you know that. And they are going to, order banks are going to open up for 9/24. And the first day they're going to make a job or 25 model year is December 2nd. So the next day they'll flip that over. No major, we're going to talk about that later in this live stream. No major changes for this year, even if you see any videos out there. Super Duty Ohio, they are going to build until January 17th of 25. That's the last day they're going to build a 24 model year. And then January 21st is the first day they're going to build a job one for 25 model year. Order bank will still open up the same day for that. So as well. So in Ohio, typically is your commercial trucks, your cab and chassis, that kind of thing. So for the most part. All right. They are this week, though, they are scheduling for Kentucky for the build dates October 14th through November 11th. And then Ohio, the weeks of November 4th and the week of November 11th is what they're scheduling for. So, yeah, there you go. And then there's a lot of dealer information that probably don't need to talk about required orders and such, and dealers, you need to probably pay attention to that. But other than that, it says in here, actually, it's saying that they need some F350 dually and F450 chassis cabs and F550 chassis cabs with the diesel engines and the 7.3 liter chassis engines without the exhausted Dana axles. Interesting. All right. Also in here, limit availability for the Lariat version, as well as the sparkle silver painted cast aluminum wheel that is standard on the XLT, F250, and F350 single rear wheel. That is a 648 wheel option. Also, wheel option 64A is a 17-inch argent painted steel with the painted hub cover that is standard on the XL. So that's also limited. So none of the upper trim level wheels are exhausted, so that's good to see. The lug cap that's included in the 17 and 18-inch argent painted steel with the painted hub cover that's on the with this 10.5 axle size is also limited availability. Also the lug cap on that's available on the XLT Lariat F250 single rear wheel 4x4s with the 10.5 axle. So, and then the Sterling 10.5 axle is also limited availability. That is that's available with the 6.8 liter engine with the 250 and 350, or the 350 or the 7.3 liter with the F250 single wheel pickup. So, which is the one they want dealers to order. I don't make this stuff up. The 360-degree camera package, also limited availability. That's standard on Lariat, King Ranch Platinum Limited. Optional on the XL and XLT, as well as the fifth wheel gooseneck hitch prep package, which that is not available with the drop-in liner or the bed mat, but that's standard on limited in the F450 pickups. So that's also probably an issue there. So there you go. That's all those juicy details. All right. The 24 model year F-150, looks like they're still scheduled on 24 model year. Order banks are open up for the 25 model year, not 24. Again, there's some overlap because they need to keep production going. There's currently 1,611 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank for the 25 model year. They are scheduled this week for the 24 model year for the weeks of September 30th through the weeks of 12 to December 2nd. So this is like balance out for 24 model year. So they're trying to finish that out. Just for reference, as we mentioned, order banks are open up for the F-150. The balance out, last day they will build a 24 model year at the Dearborn plant is November 8th. But in Kansas City, they're going to build them until December 8th. So a month later. And then the order banks are open up already. And the first day they're going to build a job 1 at Dearborn is November 12th, and then in Kansas City on December 9th. So there you go, kind of the rundown on that. Let's see what. Oh, heads-up display is a big one on this. So they're asking people to choose a 401A, 501A, or 701A. So for those trimmers, Lariats, and the Platinums, big issue with that. And even like the 703A Platinum, that's not even going to be available on the 25 model year as part of job 1. So that's probably some issues there with that. Let's see what else. That's about it. All right, 24 model year Transits, currently 3,355 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. The order banks are still open up for the 24 model year. Looks like they're going to, the last day, order banks are going to close at the end of October. So you have the full month of October. And then balance out for 24 model year is November 11th. And doesn't have a date for 25 model year yet, but I assume job 1 will be November 12th, somewhere around there. So order banks will probably open up a couple months before that. So should be opening up anytime. So hopefully we get information on that. It does say they're scheduled this week for the 24 model years. For the production week of November 11th. And then also it says required orders. They need dealers to put in cargo van orders with a low roof. But otherwise, transit orders of the transit trail package will not be selected for scheduling, and limit availability for the 3-seat passenger configuration. So there you go. There's that information. So there you go. So that's all the information for scheduling for this week, and some good information, I think, for us for going through as we're finishing out 24 model year, moving to 25 on several models. Hopefully you guys did get some information from this. If you are watching it live, we'll take your questions live. So we'll do that next. For those that are watching the recorded version on Wednesday, drop your comments down below. But if you want the most updated information, check out our live stream on Tuesday nights for that. So, all right.